Right, so welcome everyone. Road Atlanta, great track, but a bit tricky in this car at the moment, but it's still good fun. 26 wing setups are obviously a lot more stable, but will lose you a lot of time on the straights. 17 wing setups are fast and pretty deadly at the moment. Unfortunately, I'm not a setup expert. Hopefully somebody will come up with better 17 wing setups during the week. But at the moment, we've got what we've got. Okay, so for those of you that haven't been before, if you want to switch to the chase cam, look, to my car, switch to chase cam. I'll do 3 laps. Couple of slow ones pointing out braking points, turning points, etc. And then you might want to switch to cockpit view for the 3rd lap when I'll attempt a fast lap, which will probably go horribly wrong. But I'll give it my best shot. Make sure you fast forward it to live. Otherwise you're going to be wondering what on earth I'm talking about. Okay, so you'll be approaching T1 in 6th gear. Looking for this bit of tarmac on the outside here. I usually sort of dip my wheels inside it and drop to 5th, somewhere between the start and the end of that bit of inlet. You're turning in fairly early. Doesn't really matter too much if you catch a little bit of this curb, but you're basically lifting off, getting it to the apex, and then getting on the power as soon as you possibly can. Now the line into turn 3 is crucial, one of the trickiest corners on the track. Well, I tend to want to be able to come out into the middle here, not right over to the far side, but so there's a little, I don't know if it shows, depending on what track objects, if you've got trackside objects on or not, I'm not sure if it shows these little huts on the outside, but the one with the green roof is the one I'm using as my reference point for turning in to get my line. So you want to be as straight as possible by the time you get to here. Now this corner, you can take it in 4th if you get it perfect, or if you want to play it safe, you take it in 3rd. I take it in 4th, but I like to take the risk for the extra speed. Now trying to find the line into this is very tricky. Obviously it's completely blind entry. I've braked to 4th. Where I mentioned that green hut is where I'm basically getting my line and dropping it down, doing my gear changes. And it's hard to do this at slow speed and actually judge it. So but I think it's probably about here that I'm turning in. You can clip a tiny little bit of that fairly safely. But this curb on the left-hand side is one you don't want to touch. It tends to, if you touch it just with your front wheel, it tends to grab it and pull your car in and just spin it around. Into the S's, about here is where you're starting your turn in. So you're starting your turn in before you can actually see the right-hand bit of the S's. You can clip these curbs a little bit, probably nicer not to. And I'm dropping it to 4th, just where this bit of curbing I'm on now has just started. Again, it's another corner that you can either take in 4th or 3rd. 4th can gain you a lot of time. 3rd is probably safer. And it's a very, very tricky corner, this one. So I'm in 4th, but you can be in 3rd. Your line is to come out. Now, it all depends how you've got that last corner. You can either grab a lot of curb here, but it can really upset the car. It's easier with the 26 wing. You may prefer not to try and catch hardly any of the curb at all. When I get it right in 4th, I tend to take a lot of that curb and end up out here somewhere. But it's probably a lot safer to only just clip the curb and not end up right out there. So I'm up to third, up to fourth, up to fifth, keep it in fifth, and looking for this line here. This is where I start my braking. Well, I use this as my reference point. Sort of adjust your braking depending on how the corner's going for you. But I'm usually braking maybe on it or just after it, down to third. Nice turn in, let the car come out. I touch these curbs and now I'm down to second fairly early. You've really got to come off the brake really nice and smooth, otherwise it upsets the car, sends the rear end out, and you've had it in this corner. So second gear through here, very smooth acceleration. You can let it come out and touch these curbs on the outside, no problem at all. Obviously flat out through this bit, up to sixth. Come in fairly tight, sticking to the right here, and that line I've just passed is where is my braking point. I take this one in third, you might want to take it in second. Third seems to be working fine though. Where I am now is basically my turn-in point. You can catch quite a lot of this curb on the inside. The whole deal with this corner is to get a nice entry so you can get on the power nice and early through here, aiming for the middle under the bridge. With a 17 wing it'll get very unstable over that little hump. Bring it out here, apex late, you can touch the curbs on the outside no problem. So it's down to fifth, turn in, try and keep it out into the middle here, turning in, down with the brakes and gears, don't touch that curb on the inside, early turn in, into fourth, gently off the brake into that, coming out. It's really nasty corner, that one, very nasty. On the line, down to third, turn in, bit of power, and let it come out, touch the curb, early down to second, nice and smooth off the brake. Nice and smooth on the throttle out of that one. Again, it's another crucial corner, that last one, you can gain loads of time down this straight. Full speed, looking for the line or the big billboard on the right there. Down to third, turning in, much of that as you can, early turn, let the car come out, aim for the middle, back end will want to go out of it. So I'll try a fast lap now. So there's a lap. It's a tricky old circuit, especially with the 17 wing. I managed 16 fives with a 26 wing. So there's still a fair amount of speed in the 26 wing. You just got to fight that understeer a bit, but it's a lot more stable. Hopefully somebody can sort out some nice damper settings for a 17 wing setting, and it will be a lot nicer. If anybody wants me to watch them and try and advise them what they're doing wrong, anything like that, or any questions at all, just ask and we'll see what we can do. Now they're in practice.
Thanks, Stu, for that. Nice one.
Coming off the brakes is the key in all those tricky corners. Coming off the brakes nice and smooth, maybe with a little bit of throttle.